Several hundred Russian soldiers were forced to hastily withdraw from the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine after suffering acute radiation sickness from contaminated soil, according to Ukrainian officials. The troops, who dug trenches in a contaminated red forest near the site of the worst nuclear disaster in history, are now reportedly being treated in a special medical facility in Gomel, Belarus. The forest is so named because thousands of pine trees turned red during the 1986 nuclear disaster. The area is considered so highly toxic that not even highly specialized Chernobyl workers are allowed to enter the zone. Energoatom, the Ukrainian agency in charge of the country's nuclear power stations, said the Russian soldiers had panicked and fled. It has been confirmed that the occupiers, who seized the Chernobyl nuclear power plant and other facilities in the exclusion zone, set off in 2 columns towards Ukraine's border with Belarus. The occupiers announced their intentions to leave the Chernobyl nuclear power plant this morning to the Ukrainian personnel of the station, the agency said in a statement on Telegram, adding that a small number of Russians still remained at the facility. The agency said it had also confirmed reports of Russian forces digging trenches in the Red Forest, the most polluted in the entire exclusion zone. Not surprisingly, the occupiers received significant doses of radiation and panicked at the first sign of illness. And it showed up very quickly. Local reports suggest that 7 buses with the ZAP troops arrived in Gomel early Thursday. Journalists on the ground have also reported ghost buses of dead soldiers being transported from Belarus to Russia under the cover of dark. U.S. intelligence reported Wednesday that Russian forces began withdrawing from the defunct site. Russia said the withdrawal from Chernobyl was part of a pledge to scale back the invasion. But Ukrainian media says it is actually because the troops were irradiated from the contaminated soil. Another batch of Russian irradiated terrorists, who seized the Chernobyl zone, was brought to the Belarusian Radiation Medicine Center in Gomel today. Yaroslav Umilianenko, who works for the Public Council at the State Agency of Ukraine for Exclusion Zone Management, posted on Facebook. There are rules for dealing with this territory. The Chernobyl facility fell to Russian control on February 24, the first day of the invasion. Workers were on duty for more than 600 hours before being allowed a shift change. International concern grew immediately when Russian troops moved heavy military hardware through the area, kicking up radioactive dust without any protective equipment. Forest fires in the area also raised concern about environmental contamination. Digging trenches in the forest, considered the most contaminated area of the site, drew widespread ridicule from Ukrainians who work at the site. The debacle is the latest in a series of missteps by the Russian troops struggling to keep their footing in their increasingly failed war.